Hi guys, and welcome back to our video, Panda and Draft. Today we're going to be reading Mermaids to the Rescue, Cascadia Saves the Day by Lisa Ann Scott. I got this book at the book fair. It's like on Scholastic. Got a little turtle necklace. Yeah, containing. I'm wearing it right now. I think it's based on this necklace. There's a turtle right there in the book. So it's like a necklace. So that's why I got this book and I'm now wearing it. It looks really good with my outfit. Now I'm going to start reading it. Mermaids to the Rescue. Cascadia Saves the Day by Lisa Ann Scott. Illustrated by Heather Burns. Merfolk of all ages visit the Ocean Tides Park, working on castles and sculptures. Crews from the Kingdom of Cascadia set up amusement rides while vendors stock their carts and stand for treats and sweets. This is going to be the best sand sculpture festival ever, Princess Cascadia said to her younger sister, Princess Nixie. Cascadia had volunteered to organize the festival this year. Shorty had graduated from the Royal Mermaid Rescue Crew School, so she didn't have to attend the rescue school classes on the weekend and had plenty of time to plan the event. Mermaids from across the Eastern Kingdoms were flocking to Cascadia City for the biggest, most exciting event of the year. Okay, you can see in the picture, I believe this is Cascadia, and this is Nixie, this is Rip, and this is Periwinkle. School was cancelled for a week so they could enjoy the festival. What do you think of my sea pony sculpture? Nixie asked. I've been working on it for 3 days. Cascadia smiled at her sister. I can't believe you made it yourself. I bet you win a prize for sure, said Cascadia sea pony partner Periwinkle. Nixie blushed happily. That would be amazing, but I have a little more work to do. Gorgeous sculptures were scattered throughout the park, and right in the middle was a huge sand castle. Everyone at the festival could add their own shell or special touch to it. It was the centerpiece of the event and would become a permanent feature of the park. I hope there's coral candy, Nixie said. Kelp cones too, Cascadia said. Help! Called out a voice on the rescue shells around their neck. All members of the Royal Mermaid Rescue Crew wore one to answer calls for help around the Eastern Kingdoms. Cascadia picked up her shell. This is the rescue crew. What's an emergency? A whirlpool is tearing up my front yard, said a voice through the shell. A whirlpool? Nixie shook her head like she was thinking things, hearing things. I didn't make it, Periwinkle laughed. I've been with you the whole time. Periwinkle's sea savvy was conjuring small whirlpools. I know it wasn't you, Cascadia frowned, but I never heard a call for a whirlpool before. Surely this was a mistake. She spoke into her shell. Where are you? The conch homes, on the south side. I'll be right there, Cascadia replied. Nixie looked worried. I'm sure it's nothing, Cascadia assured her. We'd know if a whirlpool had slipped through. They're very rare. I should come with you, Nixie said. Cascadia shook her head. I can handle this myself. Have a good time finishing your sculpture. Nixie smiled. Thanks, you're the best, big sister. Cascadia and Periwinkle swam to the rows of shell homes just outside the city. As the older mermaid was waiting on her porch, Cascadia recognized her from many other calls. Miss Shirkington was the type to worry. One time she thought a ghost was in the oven. It was a hermit crab. Another time she thought someone had stolen her purse, but it was on her shoulder. What's wrong, Miss Shirkington? Cascadia asked. Thank goodness you're here, Miss Shirkington said. This tiny spinning monster whooshed through my front yard and left such a mess. The seagrass in the front yard was indeed torn up. Cascadia smirked, suspecting the tiny spinning monster was a rambunctious young merkid excited for the festival. Miss Shirkington clenched her hands. It was a whirlpool, I tell you. I haven't seen one of those since I was a child. Could mean a big storm's coming. Well, it doesn't look like anyone else's yard was hit. Cascadia said, and I don't see a whirlpool anywhere now. No one else has called one. And I think everything is safe. I'll ask someone to the city to come over and repair your yard once the Sand Sculpture Festival is over. Everyone's busy working on that. The Merlady frowned. I hope the whirlpool doesn't come back while everyone's focused on sandcastles. Cascadia patted her hand. It won't. Now be sure to come to the festival tomorrow. I'll do that, Mr. Kinston said. Thank you, dear, for coming to check on me. That's what for the Royal Rescue Crew is for, Cascadia said with a smile. She and Periwinkle swam back towards the city. Hopefully the monsters didn't attack any other yards, Periwinkle laughed. Cascadia laughed too, but deep down something was bothering her, like a tiny tingling feeling telling her something wasn't right. Cascadia shook off her worries. She wasn't going to let this ruin her great day. When they reached the park, Cascadia gazed at the beautiful sand sculptures. Everyone was laughing and smiling. I'm so glad to be part of this, she cried. You've done a wonderful job, Periwinkle said. Cascadia swam home, bursting with pride. Sounds like the festival is going to be amazing, her dad, King Zalestroya, said as they ate dinner. Good work, honey, said their mom, Queen Aviza. I can't wait to ride the sea pony carousel. I'm going to eat all the seaweed cakes, said Rip, Nixie's sea pony partner. How did that rescue turn out? Nixie asked. It was another false alarm from Mr. Exton. Cascadia laughed and told Mr. I hope I can find out which rascal gave her such a scare. Rip frowned. How did you know she was wrong? And what if it was really a whirlpool? Small whirlpools are a warning sign a big undersea storm is coming on the way. I've read about it on the natural disasters of the sea. Cascadia felt that tingling feeling again, but she crossed her arms. I'm sure she was confused. No one else reported anything strange. There wasn't much damage at all, Periwinkle added. King Zale chuckled. I remember responding to calls from Mr. Exton when I was a new rescue crew member. His sea pony partner, Doran, bobbed his head. There were many times we never for anything serious. Cascadia raised her chin. It was just another false alarm. I hope you're right, Rip said. I'm sure I'm right. And she was sure, mostly. Okay, guys, we're on chapter 2. Now we're going to continue. Cascadia tossed and turned that night. Whirlpool swirled through her dreams. She even heard someone scream. Wake up, her mom said, shaking her shoulders. Cascadia sat and rubbed her eyes. What's wrong? A giant whirlpool is heading for our city. We need to get in our underground sea cave. What? A whirlpool! Come on! Her mother reached her hand and led Cascadia to the cave below the castle where Nixie clung to her dad. The family sea ponies huddled in the corner. Cascadia's heart raced. Tears prickled her eyes. Don't worry, dear. We'll be safe down here, her dad said. White feeling sent down the lump. I could have warned everyone yesterday when Miss Shrixton told she saw a tiny whirlpool, Cascadia said, and she took a deep breath. But I didn't believe her. Her mom put an arm around her. Honey, we haven't had a storm like this in decades. No one would have known. There are many usually reports of tiny whirlpools before a big one hits, her dad said. You've heard of only one. From a mermaid who makes a lot of mistaken reports. Cascadia hung her head. But when we left, I had this feeling deep down that it wasn't right, but I ignored it, she sighed. Maybe there were other sightings, but no one reported them. I should have asked them around. I should have investigated the possibility. Then we'll consider this a good lesson to listen to those deep down feelings, her mom said. But there's nothing you could have done to stop this. It's going to be okay. Nixie crossed her arms as her mother comforted Cascadia. Once the storm passes, the rescue crew can help anyone who needs it. Rip nodded. We'll be ready for anything. I know how to conjure a whirlpool, Periwinkle grumbled. I only know how to conjure a whirlpool, Periwinkle grumbled. I wish I knew how to stop one too. Help, my roof just disappeared, cried a voice over the family rescue shells. We've got to make sure they're okay. Cascadia raced to the door. Her mom shook her head. It's too dangerous for anyone to be out there until the storm passes. It includes the rescue members. If we get hurt, who's left to help? She's right, said her dad. This is the rescue crew. We're sorry, Cascadia's mom said into her shell. It's too dangerous to respond now. Seek shelter in your sea cave. We'll be there as soon as the storm is over. Cascadia wrapped her arms around herself and listened to the storm howl outside. She shivered, even though she wasn't cold. I hope he misses the park, Nixie said. Cascadia's stomach turned off. She hadn't even thought of that. Help! My door blew off, cried another voice from the shelves. We'll be out when the storm passes, their dad told the frantic mermaid. Nixie's teeth chattered and her eyes were wide. How long do these storms last? I've never experienced one, her father said. From what I read, most whirlpools pass through an area quickly, Rip said. Perhaps 15 minutes. But sometimes slow-moving storms can linger up for an hour. Cascadia couldn't think she could bear to listen to shrieking, swirling water much longer. As they waited, rescue calls came in. Luckily, there were none of these calls are for injuries, Cascadia's mom said. It's going to be a busy day, Periwinkle said. The rescue crew can handle it. We must handle it. The subjects of our kingdom will be counting on us, King Zale said. Nixie raised her hand. On my honor, I will be as brave as to keep our seas and subjects safe. This was the rescue crew motto, and they all took the oath very seriously. The family sat in silence for a while as the storm blew through the city. Then Periwinkle said, Listen! It's quiet, Rip said. The storm must have passed. I think it's safe to take a look, the king said. Cascadia reached for Nixie's hand as they left the cave and swam out of the castle. The waters were starting to brighten as the sun rose above the ocean. It took a moment for Cascadia's eyes to adjust. All around the castle, coral and sea plants were blown about. Some shells had been stripped off the side of the castle. It's not as bad as I feared, her dad said. Then the calls started coming in again. I'm missing my pet sail, cried out one mermaid. My fence is gone, someone else cried. Is it safe to come out? Asked another. Cascadia was desperate to see what damage they had done to the park, but she knew they had to help the residents of the kingdom first. We should ask all the rescue crew members who are here for the festival to meet, she said to her family. We'll come up with a plan to help everyone. Excellent idea, the queen said. Okay, you guys, so next time we come here, we're going to read 100 cool things to do in Roblox. But on the other book, we're going to continue soonly on Mermaids Rescue. We stopped on chapter 3. If you guys noticed, hit the like and subscribe button and join for more. This is Panda, and I'll be reading to you from Panda Reads. Bye.